I'm taking you back to the big D. And I'm talking about my life in Detroit. And that was in 2000 to 2007. So what had happened was I was at Michigan State University in the late 90s and I just could not figure out what I wanted to do in life. A lot of my friends were a year older than me, so they graduated, went away, and moved back to the Detroit area. And I was just overwhelmed with work and school and indecisive about my major. So I took a semester off and moved back in with my parents. I grew up by Notre Dame, so I was like, oh, it'll be fun. It's like another college town. I'm just, I'm older. Maybe I'll appreciate it more. Nope, I was still bored. It was still gray in winter in Michigan. And my mom was like, you're not doing anything. Why don't you go with your grandma to Arizona? And this was the spring or winter of 2000. Well, what kid wouldn't say, hell yeah, I'll go to Arizona. My grandma came out to Arizona every year, spent time with her sister-in-law out in Mesa, and I had some friends that had just moved there from college. So I'm like, oh yeah, I'm down. I'm going to Arizona. So I arrived here in February. It was sunny, beautiful, high of 60, low of 40. It was like summertime in Michigan sometimes. This is why all the Midwesterners just like fall in love. Like if you come to Arizona in February or March, like that is when Arizona grabs a hold of you. You are like, I have not seen so much sunshine in my life, and 60 degrees is a heat wave. I love it. So that's when I fell in love with Arizona. Fast forward, I was not done with school yet, remember? So I was staying with a girlfriend. I came back from Arizona and I was like, Mom, I'm going to ASU. Transferring schools, going there. And then I looked into college and it was like triple, quadruple prices to be an out-of-state student. And my mom was like, just finish school here. Then you can go do whatever you want in life. Okay. So I moved into the Detroit area with my best friend and I started to fall in love with Detroit. I was working at a sports bar. I was falling in love with Detroit sports. I was making new friends. I was having a great life. And when it came down to returning to college in the fall, I was like, I kind of liking this new life. I like my new friends. And so I took the fastest way out and I went to Oakland University and got my business management degree. So I finally got that degree in 2003. Finished school, but I still wasn't quite sure what I was going to do in my life yet. Working in a sports bar, I was having fun, having drinks, going to games, doing all the things that Detroit people do. And I was loving it. But I couldn't be a server forever. And I had a college degree now. So what was I supposed to do? Place that I worked at was getting ready to open a new location. And I was like, sign me up for a manager. I've had other friends take this route after college. It's not a bad life. It's not bad money. But you don't have to be college educated to be a restaurant manager. What sucks is after you graduate and you have that college degree, they want you to sacrifice and do internships and other things. And that's just not how I was raised. I was raised work, work, work. My parents would tell me to have 2 or 3 jobs if that's what I had to do. Taking an unpaid internship and going to try something that I might really like was not in the question. So I decided, you know what? I'll suck it up. I'll manage a restaurant. There's a lot of skills to be learned in managing a restaurant. I learned a lot of skills waiting tables. Let me tell you, you learn how to deal with the general public. You learn how to talk to people. You learn how to put up with other people's, and it really makes you grow as a person. Everyone should have to work in a restaurant at some point in their life. I'm just saying. If you know, you know. If you haven't done it, somebody should punish you and make you do that at least one time in your life. So I become the restaurant manager, go to Detroit, going to games, having fun, working days, drinking all night. And I repeated that and repeated that and repeated that and repeated that through most of my 20s. You get sick of that. You get sick of it. Alcohol is a depressant. I know you don't like to think so, but it is. And you get to learn that the older you get. In your 20s, you don't realize what's really going on. I couldn't do it anymore. I wanted a healthier lifestyle. I wanted better relationships. I wanted to make more money. And I was not able to get out of the restaurant pattern and the drinking pattern and the unhealthy pattern living where I was living. And I was like, oh yeah, I wanted to move to Arizona one time. Maybe I should go do that. So 2007, that's when the economy was tanking. And a lot of my customers were automotive workers. And I was like, all right, I got to get out of here. All these people are losing their jobs. There's going to be nothing left for me. I have to get out of here. Unless I make enough money, because I do have a job. And I asked my boss, I was like, hey, look, I'm training all your managers. Make me the general manager. Make me a district manager. I need to make more money. I want to stay here, but if there's not more money involved, then I got to go. And he said, we're not ready. And I said, bye. 2-week notice. And called a friend in Arizona. And I was like, hey, when I met you in 2000, you offered to help me out to get out of Michigan. And now I'm asking, will you help me? And she said, yes. I put in my 2-week notice. I got my last paycheck. And my dad and I drove to Arizona. So here we are. I left the D and I arrive in Arizona on Friday, April 13th, 2007. I remember it was Friday the 13th because I was like, uh-oh, what did I do? Is this the death of me or is it a dream? Honestly, that first summer, I thought it was the death of me because it was hot. People tell you it's hot. It's hot. Growing up in Michigan, summers are amazing and you're used to being on the water, on boats, on lakes, and just having, like, it's summer in Arizona is not summer in Michigan. So this is why I quickly learned that I wanted to be a snowbird. I have to make big money. I got up these big dreams of being an entrepreneur. I got to work for myself. I got to be able to go back and forth because this heat ain't no joke. I'll tell you, my one blessing from working in the restaurant business is I can pretty much relocate anywhere and always have a job. There's always a need for a restaurant manager, which I won't do again. I've learned my lesson. I was very happy in making more money as a server and I got to have more fun. I worked half the amount of hours and made double the money. I got stuck. Again. Fun, working part-time, enjoying sunshine. And I was getting healthier. Like, I loved it. And I thought I was living my dreams. I was working my butt off during season, which is, October it starts, but really like January to April, May. Like, I hit it hard. I would work 2 jobs. I would work. And then I would take a month off in the summer and go back to Michigan and hang out with my family because that was my dream. I wanted to spend time with them. And I did that. I go back broke. Every fall and have to start all over. And again, so there's the pattern. Repeat, fun, and done. Start over. And that starts to wear on you after a while. Now I'm healthier. I'm falling more in love with my life. I'm having lots of fun. And I'm doing whatever I want to do. Like, that's a dream for most people. I've lived more of my dreams than most people will live in their lifetime. But again, there's some repeating patterns that have to be discovered if you want a better life. Because if you're not learning and growing, then you're dying. Another D word. And I got so much to live for. I can't be dying, so I do more growth work. Did you know that when you have big dreams and desires, sometimes it like eats away at you and it starts to uncover things you might not want to learn about yourself? Self-discovery. That's what I'm calling it. Self-discovery. And that is damaging. Damaging to your old self. It's great for your new self. It's damaging for your old self. Here I am living what I consider, most people's dream life. And I still am desiring so much more. So I have to do this discovery work to figure out why I am not where I want to be. What do I have to do to level up? Who do I have to become? What don't I know about myself? Discover. It's not fun. Self-discovery involves digging deep into yourself, calling yourself out on your own shit, and taking accountability for the life that you've lived. I blamed other people for me not being more successful or having more in my life. And I realized that those were all my decisions. And not just my decisions, but also my indecisions. Because there were many years where I'm like, I don't know, I don't know, I don't know, I don't know why. So I had a lack of accountability in my life. And that's why I didn't have the life that I desired and the bigger things that I dreamed about. To 2015? Yeah, 2015. We'll jump past that half a year I moved to Chicago because all my indecisions, I decided that I would listen to my mother. And she gave me the guilt trip of, you're so far away from home. You're missing out on so much. That's why you don't have everything you desire, is because you're too far from your family. And I listened to my mother like I always did somewhat. And I tried Chicago. I tried. But that's when I realized that's not what the problem was. Moved back to Arizona. That's another story for another day. And decided I'm getting to work. I'm going to discover everything I can to become that next level person. My parents aren't getting any younger. I'm probably going to have to take care of them. They're not in great health. They don't take care of themselves. My brother, girlfriend, he's going to have other responsibilities, and it's going to come back to me. I'm the single daughter, oldest child. It's going to come back on me at some point. So I need to start living my dreams and desires now, which, obviously we all desire financial abundance and the ability to not have to work and the ability to take care of other people. It's still a desire. So this is where I'm going to leave you. My brain's starting to... Basically, the moral of the story is I went from living in the D to living my D to wanting bigger Ds in the 17 years I've lived in Arizona. Lesson number 1. Or number 2. This is video number 2. So let's call it story number 2. How Nicole went from the D to live in her D.